Bonjour, everybody. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to Star Nation's Communications from Home. It's a special program, special live stream for Communications from Home for two reasons. Two. One of them is that today's Monday, May 21st. It's not Sunday, the third Sunday of every month. We made a decision, me and my co-host, Mervyn Kelly, that we needed to move the show, the special show, to Monday. For a couple different reasons. Life, we had stuff going on Sunday. And the second reason is special is because it's Monday and it's in the afternoon. It's 3 p.m. here in Tomah, Wisconsin. That's the Central Time. And so for those people who are watching out on the East Coast, it's a little bit a little different for you too for that time frame. And of course, where Mervyn is from, the UK, I believe it's like 9 o'clock at night, something like that. So if you've joined us, no matter where you are, thank you for being here with us and joining us for this live stream show on Star Nation's Communications from Home. This special show, Mervyn and I started January, February. And it is about caring for our elderly parents. Mervyn and I realized we were working on some new stuff for Be Live TV, which is our business partners here at Star Nations. Our business partners at Be Live TV. They're the ones that help us do these kind of cool interviews, and so that we can have more than just two people on sometimes, right? So we were working on stuff, and it turns out that we both take care of our elderly mothers. And I needed to do something for my mom. Mervyn had to do something for his mom. And that's when we realized we had something in common. And so we decided that maybe our community would like to hear more about the spiritual end of taking care of elderly parents. And also the everyday kind of stuff that we come up against, and how do you stay centered? How do you stay grounded? How do you remain a kind, loving person some days? So that's why this special show started. And hello, Elise. Thank you for being with us. Elise is in the house. Hello again. That's right. I was on a little bit earlier this morning. So this show that we have, Mervyn and I, is a service to those in our community who are either taking care of an elderly parent and can identify with what we're talking about and know that they're not alone, or for those who are thinking about bringing their elderly parent into their home and getting prepared for that, because it's a life changer. It's a life changer. And Mervyn comes to us, of course, from the UK, but his background that he's bringing is from the Druidry end of things. So here at Star Nations, we cover a pretty big gamut of the different spiritual paths that we can take for our soul's growth, right? And Mervyn happens to bring with him to our community information about the Druid world, information about crystals and stones, because he is the host of live stream show From Star to Stone, which is on the second Tuesday of every month. And so why don't we bring Mervyn on, and he's going to help us today about crystals and being empathic, and how an empath also takes care of their parents and the different tools. Hi, Mervyn.
Hello.
How are you
doing?
Good. How are you?
Hello, everybody. Yes, I am still perfection. Good.
And Margaret's with us too. Hey, Margaret. Thank you for being here. Margaret and Elise are with us. So this particular show, we've kind of talked about since the beginning, since we started the series, right? About how we take care of our elderly parents. And most of us are empaths. And that's how we end up in this role, right, in being of service. One of the reasons. And I know that we all have an understanding of our ability, or at least knowing that we're different and that we can feel other people's emotions, other people's sometimes pain, other people's joys too. And we also know we have tools. And one of those tools happens to be stones and crystals that can help us through both the trying times and also the joyful times. And so, Mervyn, when we first thought about doing this particular show with stones and crystals, because I really wanted to cover help for the empaths, what was the first thing that you thought of or came to your mind when we first started discussing this?
Well, the obvious ones to start off with, like the amethyst. That's always a good one. It's a nice, easy one to get hold of. It's fairly common, but it's got so many attributes to it. You know, when we're talking about protection, we talk about it. Everything that it's got is all positive. When you're talking about crystals and stones, they're all positive in one way or another. There's you can't go wrong with any of them ever. We might get onto that later, but anyway, I mean, the other main thing with the amethyst is one of its attributes is to help you find a state of emotional balance. When you're empathic, you are bombarded by everybody else's emotional state as well, and sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to separate your own from theirs. And therein lies many of the problems that we find ourselves in. You know, many of the moments where your brain just can't figure out exactly what's going on sometimes. So amethyst was the first one that popped into my head. Nice and easy. Every store's got it, and you don't have to spend a ton of money finding a nice piece or finding the piece that calls to you in the store. It's generally not a particularly expensive crystal to get hold of. So that would be my first go-to. Nice and simple.
You said something there that really kind of piqued my interest. And I have to admit, I was also sharing the show, liking and sharing at the same time. You said something that kind of piqued my interest because I think we have to touch on this a little bit about protection. You know, now, when we're taking care of somebody that we love and you're an empath, it's still important to have your sacred space, your own, where you don't get invaded with other people's emotions. Right?
Yes.
And when you're caring for somebody that you love, you feel like, especially in the beginning, you kind of feel like you want to help them so much. And which is all good, except that when it's hard to separate what's yours and what's theirs because you get so much coming at you at one time. At least that's what happened to me. And to be able to know that you can still provide for them with kindness and love, but still have a little bit of separation between what's theirs and what's yours.
Yeah, it's just because you're not, you can be open to how they're feeling, but not feeling it for them. That's the thing. You don't help. You need to sense. You still need that sense of where they are, how they're feeling, um, what's going on in the mind, but being able to but not feel what they're feeling to the same extent. Otherwise, you just stop being able to think what is going to help. That's that point where you start losing yourself in the whole the whole situation.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Hi, Robin. Robin's with us too. She's saying hello, Neshi and Nellie. Hello.
Hello.
And Judy's with us too. Hi, Judy. Thanks for being here with us. Yeah, and and Elise is saying that she says, I've taken care of my brain injured retarded sister for 13 years and also had my mother for 7 years until she passed last year. So you know what we're talking about, Elise, especially if you're an empath, you know exactly what we're talking about. When you first started being in that role as primary caregiver, the thing that sometimes is difficult, I think, or a challenge, let's call it that, a challenge, is when they are in a lot of pain, physical pain, and you've pretty much exhausted what you can do to help. And you feel that you literally feel their pain. Sometimes the emotionals that come along with that. And so sometimes it can be very overwhelming for an empath to feel that I'll call it a tidal wave of emotion and still be able to be grounded and centered to be that caregiver, and also remain true to your own emotions and feelings. And I'm thinking, Mervyn, is that there's a lot of different help out there, right? And we're talking about, yes, there's two-legged help, human help, yes, but there's also, and I'm talking about the stones and crystals, or the essential oils, or the sprays and that kind of thing, right? When it comes to boundaries and setting boundaries, because that's what we literally have to do, even though we love them, even though we want to help them as much as we can our relatives that we call stones and crystals assist us as empaths with that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Quite easily. Going back just briefly to what I said earlier about you can't go wrong with them, and you literally can't. Even if whatever suggestions I bring in today, even if you ignore all of those and you know that there's one out there that speaks to you that you know is going to help, that all the literature says does other things, well, that doesn't matter. Never mind what the literature says. If it speaks to you, it speaks to you, therefore it is right. You can't go wrong. The only way you can go wrong, and this is both my opinion and experience, which also goes against everything that I've read, and I've mentioned this before on the Starter Stone show, mentioned it several times. The only time you go wrong is how you approach the crystal for its help. Everything that you will read on the internet and in books and anywhere else, and generally how people talk about them, the only way, they all say to program the crystal to you need to set your intention and program the crystal and every
Dominate.
dominate the crystal. No, 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 and thrice no.
I'm going to write that down. Thrice no.
Thrice no. If, regardless of anything I say or have said from the beginning of time until the end of time, if the only thing people take away with them is this one idea, is that you do not program your crystals. Don't even try. The only way to approach it is to ask for their help. Talk to them. Ask them for the help you need in whatever situation it is, and they will help you. They want to help us. Programming is rude and unnecessary. So if nobody listens to another word I say, as long as that one starts filtering out into the world, I'm a happy person.
All right, so let's make sure that we put it in a way that we're helping a lot of people to understand it. Is that when you program a crystal, you're telling it that you want it to do something for you.
Yes.
It's kind of like in a position that you're the boss and they are the employee. You're giving them a job description, and you're expecting them to do that, right?
Do this or you're fired.
Right, exactly. Now, in our world, because I believe the same way as you do, Mervyn, is to hold the crystal and ask if they're willing to help you, because this is what you would like to do, and if they're willing to help you to hold that energy for you.
Yes.
That's completely different. You're not dominating. You're not coercing. You're not. It's more of a co-creation.
Yeah, you're working with. They are working. You are working with them. They are working with you. Mm-hmm. They're not doing it for you, because part of the work you have to do anyway. They're helping you. They're supporting you in what you need to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Completely different relationship.
Yes, and because we're all related. We're all interconnected. That one is not higher or better than another, no matter if we're the two-legged and they're the stone people. We're the same.
Absolutely.
We're no better, we're no worse.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we have the opportunity to help each other, to be there for each other, it's like asking a good friend, do you mind coming over to help me? I know that you know how to do such and such. Can you come over and help me with that? It's a completely different way of feeling and working together.
And the more you do it, the more used to it that you become, and it becomes a more you will realize that it's a more natural way of working with them.
Yeah. Yeah, and Judy's saying it's like asking angels to help you, but not telling them and praying them to help you. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Very similar. Because they're so, when you're a caregiver, like anything else in your life, you're not in it alone. We have so much help, both in the physical world and also in the spiritual world. And the stones and crystals are, I believe, are sentient beings. They have a life force, just like we do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so it's really the co-creation. When as an empath, when you first started taking care of your mom, did you reach out to the crystal and stone world for assistance?
Initially, no.
Okay.
Initially, no. It was, I've been taking care of for a long time now, and the crystal and stone worlds came to me, and that's when, yeah, they came to me, and I mean, oh, for a long time, it was, how do I explain it? For forever. Let's put it like that. Ever since I was this big, I was aware of, and I suppose more confident and comfortable with the other world and the spirit world and stones, but never had and I'd acquired a few here and there and bits and pieces, but the world, I wasn't ready to step into the world up until Tracy brought me to the door and opened it for me, and that's when everything clicked into place. All the knowledge that I'd acquired over the years, all the ideas that were rattling around in my head, the voices that I heard made sense, and that was the moment when the whole world of everything opened up for me. So, yeah, it's all down to her, really, for showing me the door and inviting me to step inside.
Yeah.
And that was a key moment for me, key moment in my life. So in stepping inside, then they came to me and said, "We've been waiting for you. You're late. We've been waiting, it's about time."
Yeah.
So that was and that opened up more, where I was able to take care of Mum more than I had done before, because it's been suggested by, Tracy and many other people, that because I am as I am and who I am, from walking into school when I was very, very young, and it was so overwhelming for me that I had to close everything down as a defense mechanism as much as possible, because it was, I liken it to being physically painful to be around all those people all that time. So and over the past few years, I've been managing to reverse that process.
Yeah. Well, I think that's part of the growth when you're an empathic person and you don't recognize it, number one, and number two, when you do realize what it is really seeing it as a gift rather than a curse.
Yeah.
And then we start looking for ways that how can I carry this and be this and still be able to do what I came here to do, right? And not feeling so overwhelmed. And when we're taking care of another person, whether it's an elderly person or much like Elise, where she was taking care of her disabled sister, is that finding that path, those allies, those friends who are willing to come and help. And as an empath, I have to say that the very first thing that, because I actually had a very blessed way to do this, because I had already been working and living my life with spirit, consciously walking my path, consciously connecting with spirit long before my mom even moved in. So I knew I had gifts. But even with that, it was learning how to take care of things in a way that with the ego and getting that in place, in a better place. So for me, being grounded and centered is really, really important, more so than anything else I've ever done. Because I know that when I'm not grounded and I'm not centered, I'm not helping my mom very much at all. In fact, it's more of a hurt, a hindrance than a help.
Yeah.
You know, because as a mom, they know us pretty dang well. They've known us all our lives. And so all they have to do is look at us and know something's not right. Something's wrong. What's wrong? And they go into mom mode.
Very quickly.
Very quickly. So I did turn to stones and crystals early on. And it's been 6 years since she's been here with us. There was 2 that I used. One was grounding, and that was tiger eye. Mm-hmm. Only because I love just the way it looks. And occasionally I would use obsidian. Very grounding.
Yeah, I mean that's for grounding. Any of the dark stones are generally very grounding, and again easily obtained. You know, we don't have to go and spend a lot of the hard earned to pick them up. You know, smoky quartz, that's another one. The obsidian, you know, all those are really good stones.
Yeah,
really good.
And I gave my mom a rose quartz, a small one that it kind of almost like a worry stone kind of thing, where she could keep it in her hand, or she could have it on her table, and if when she was feeling anxious or, you know, missing my dad, she could pick it up, hold it, you know. And so she had that, and I had the more grounding stone, and that seemed to help.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the rose quartz is just for emotional assistance. Rose quartz is ideal, absolutely ideal. I acquired. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I acquired a very large. I picked up a piece of rose quartz, and I brought it home, and you know, I got it for me. I admit it. I'm not ashamed. And it was I brought it home, and I always share with Mum the ones that I've picked up on, you know, with wherever I've been to see them and collect them and buy them and everything. And I just looked at her and I thought, I just said, would you like to have this in here with you, in her room, in her sitting room where she's got a TV and everything? And she said, yes, I would. So it's sitting with her, and it just felt right. And it's this big. And it wasn't the big one that I could have got either. It wasn't. It's just the right one. So it was, you know, even if we bring these beings back to live with us in our homes, and that we know that they're going to be in it's going to be in my room because that's where I want it to be, and you come home, it will tell you if it needs to be in a different place.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. You know, even if you're one of those people who are working on, you know, bringing in that spiritual information, you know, the stones, how they're talking to you, the crystals, how they're communicating with you, is it's trusting your intuition. And and this is part of it, is trusting your intuition. And so I know that you gave it, you have a lot of information about stones and crystals around this. And before we get to the pictures and talking about each one of those, I have a question for you, because there's many different ways to do this, and I'm curious about how do you clear and clean your crystals, and how do you know when to do it?
The two ways I like, because they're quite gentle, is moonlight under the full moon and sage.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, easy. Moonlight is my favorite. When they've been out under the full moon overnight, and they just look so happy. They really do. Sunlight's also good, but you got to be a little bit careful. You know, they're like us. They can get sunburnt. They can, a dark one, like amethyst, the color can fade.
Yeah.
So you got to be a little bit careful. But under direct sunlight, give it an hour or so, and then that's enough. But solar energy is really powerful in that way. Lunar energy is more gentle. It's got a more feminine. Well, obviously it's more feminine because it's with the moon. Sage. If you get Palo Santo, you could use that. Don't use salt. Never use salt. You might read that salt's a good one. Don't. And never use water.
Right.
Because there are some that will just be completely destroyed by water, like selenite. It will just dissolve to nothing.
Yeah.
So keep it very simple. Moonlight, sage. There you go. Nice and simple. And how often should you do it? As often as you can, within reason. If you feel like it needs doing, do it. Generally, when you get them home, it's a good idea to give them a cleanse and give them a bit of love to integrate them into your home. Show them around.
Give them the tour.
Give them the tour. This is the kitchen. That kind of thing. Because
the reason why I laugh is because the smaller stones, so many of us put them in our pockets, and we carry them with us.
Right?
Give them a tour.
I've got a set of stones Tracy gave me that I carry with me everywhere, wherever I go. They're always with me. They're very special. So they stay with me all the time.
All right. So the reason why I asked you that is because with so much emotion and in helping somebody who may be going through quite a bit of pain, is being kind to our friends, the stones and crystals, to know, to sense, using your intuition. When is it a good time that they need a break? They need a break. They need to recharge, just like we do. You might even have one that you can switch out for a while. Put the other one on holiday, and that sort of thing. Because we get respite time if we're lucky. We get respite time. We have somebody come in and take our job for a little while, our responsibility. And the crystals is the same thing in my world. Is to be able to switch them out if you can, even if you keep the same thing, the same kind of stone, but have 2 different ones or 3 different ones that you can rotate.
Yeah. It's just it's exactly the same. And just everybody's situation is slightly different.
Yes.
and but we all go through the same path, so to speak, where we have good days, bad days, the good times, and eventually things do get harder as the days progress. So you just got to be as good to yourself as you are to the stones and crystals, or as good to the stones and crystals as you are to yourself, or more so. It's just as much as you can. Oh, the other good one is in the earth. Yeah, that's a really good one. If you bury them in the earth, overnight, so plenty. But if you have them in a, if they're small, then put them in a like a little Hessian bag. Preferably a little bag, preferably natural fibre, so that they're all together, and put a flag in the ground so you know where you put them. Otherwise, they will go back to the earth quite happily.
Oh yeah, I mean that's their home, right? That's their true home. So Robin's saying, I've never thought to sage them, to smudge them. Thanks so much. It's easy. It's easier than other methods. That is so very true. It really is,
especially when actually taking them all out under the moonlight is almost a military exercise, because you've got so many.
I used to have a patio table, one of those with a glass top, and that was their vacation or holiday time, because that was the table everybody got to sit on for a little while, whether it was under the moonlight for longer periods of time or sunlight, depending on what stones they were. And they actually had the patio umbrella too, so the sun wasn't too strong on them. My husband used to call that the R&R for them, rest and relaxation. Now, and it's true that I think the smudging really is the easiest, and this is coming from my world now. Even with the sage, because we're working together, you want to connect with the spirit of the plant, and asking them for their assistance, if they could please help you to help clear our relatives, our stone friends, and making sure that you make that connection too, because everybody's working together then, right? The other thing that now, I'm not a Reiki master, but I do know that you can use Reiki symbols to clear your stones as well, is to love them that way. That's very easy to do too. So I've also done something that, because we needed it was like wartime triage, really. Wartime triage, where when you're hurt, sometimes you need to put ice on in order to deal with the pain and the swelling. I've actually put a stone or crystal in the freezer, not for a long period of time, but enough for the shock of it, and then bring it out, put it in my hands, love and light, and then putting it into. At the time, I didn't want it. It was wintertime, literally, and so to put it back in the earth, it would have been difficult to do. And so what I did is I went to one of my house plants and asked if it's okay if we put the stone inside the dirt, if they would be willing to help us with that, because it really needed help. And the plant was very, very welcoming and very much wanted to help. And so I was able to bury the crystal into the plant. And the plant took care of it for probably a good 15 days or so before it was ready to be able to come out. And even with that, you're sensing, you're asking, how you doing? You doing okay? You ready to come out? No, not yet. So you're really leaning on and trusting your intuition and talking to them, communicating with them, and being very thankful to that plant. Oh my gosh, it was a jasmine bush, that we had indoors, and so it was quite big. And so she was willing to take on that would help with the healing. So sometimes you have to be using ingenuity, creativity.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So I know that you have some pictures for us, and I'd like to be able to give our audience some information and tips that they can actually start using if they so choose to, almost immediately, to help as much as we can. And it would be interesting for those that are in the live chat if you could just even type in, yes, you have used stones and crystals, just so that I can kind of see where the knowledge base is. If you can just type in there, just type in yes, and that way that gives us an idea how many of you have worked with stones and crystals before. So where do you want to start, Mervyn?
Okay. Now, which obsidian?
Obsidian. Okay. I gotta get there. I've got to remember which picture that is. I think this is the one. Is that the one?
That's the one. Yeah.
Okay, let's give it a solo.
So, I mean, the piece there is an obelisk. I've just laid it down just to get it in the frame properly. But now, obsidian, extremely grounding. This is it's formed from volcanic activity. It's a volcanic glass, so it's both very grounding, but it's also very powerful with fire energy. So you got to be careful in some ways on how you're working with it because of the fire energy. If you're needing to ground, it's extremely powerful at grounding. But you don't want to bring that fire in at the same time. So just ask it for the grounding. Keep it specific so that the crystal knows what you need to work with. So very powerful. But again, like I was saying, it's an easy one to obtain. And it doesn't have to be. I'm only showing you the ones that I've got, so it doesn't have to be an obelisk.
Yeah,
I've got it because it called to me, so it came home. So it can be whatever speaks to you, really. If you want a smooth one to hold in your hand, get a smooth one. It's fine. It doesn't matter.
Right.
The one that speaks is the one you get.
That's right. It's the one that says, "Take me. I'm willing. Let's go. Let's do it.
Let's go. Let's do this." There's the amethyst that I mentioned earlier, which, as well as the protection and psychic protection, because psychic protection is when you look at the.
That's a good one. Keep going. That's good.
Oh, okay. Yeah. When you look at the literature, the literature that talks about empathy, crystals and empathy, they talk about crystals that will help you become more empathic. They don't ever talk about crystals that will help you because you're empathic.
Right.
So you got to come at it a slightly different way. So empathy is strongly linked with psychic ability anyway. You are picking up on other people through a psychic connection. So look at it from a different angle. Look at a psychic protection angle, and you won't go far wrong. So amethyst, psychic protection. And the emotional balance that I mentioned earlier. So that's good. Rose quartz, extremely good with the emotional, every part of the emotional life. It understands and will work with you. But you need to be specific in what you're asking for help with.
Right.
You know?
What your situation is.
Yeah.
When you said the psychic protection, and I got yes, go there. Is that even though the person that we're caring for we love, otherwise we wouldn't be doing what we're doing, right?
Absolutely.
That, and they don't, many times it's unintentional. What they do is they tend to draw on your energy, because they want to feel better, right? And so there is this setting up your protection, your to be able to say, this is my space, right? And that your energy is your energy and my energy is mine. Now, if you want to give them energy that is, for healing, that's working with creator energy through you. But what I'm talking about is sometimes an ill person wants to be well, and so what they'll do is they will try to draw on your energy to feel better. So when you're talking about that psychic protection, and so in the pictures that we have, are there any of the crystals in there that could help with that?
Yes, because I had another idea before. Well, after I'd done all the pictures, this came to me in the night. Tourmaline and selenite. Okay. Selenite is just an amazing thing. It's been called solid Reiki. It's got that energy to it. It's I can't even begin to describe how amazing this is, for not just for protection but for healing and pretty much everything else, to support you. But if you get into a state where the situation is really draining, you can't locate your own emotions within everything, this is what came to me: selenite and tourmaline, and at least 3 pieces of each to make a triangle.
Oh, okay.
And then sit within the triangle. If you've got more, 5, 7 of each, grid yourself within a circle of tourmaline and selenite, and ask them to just block out everything that isn't yours and just meditate within that circle or triangle or whatever shape you make, just to give yourself some breathing space, and it will surround you with fantastic protective energy. But will also, if you ask them to, they will feed you, allow that natural energy to feed you for a little while. Meditate within that. Give yourself at least 20 minutes. Longer would be better, but a minimum of 20 minutes. There's a Zen proverb that says everybody should meditate for 20 minutes a day, unless you're really, really busy, in which case you need to meditate for an hour.
Right.
Yeah. So
I don't remember. Did you give us some tourmaline pictures? I don't remember.
I did.
You did. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see, which ones are they? Is that the tourmaline?
That's not it. No, that's bornite.
Okay.
I'll come.
That's not it either.
No.
Nope.
No.
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 That's the selenite. That
Keep
is
going.
sodalite.
That's it.
Okay. The last one, of course.
Naturally.
Okay.
That's
so
the
this is tourmaline.
Yeah. Again, extreme, very grounding,
Mm-hmm.
very protective, both psychically and otherwise. So yeah, those, and again, you go into a store, you can pick them up very easily.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the idea came to me in the night. I thought, oh, I must write that down,
Yeah.
and I didn't, but I remembered it, so it's still good.
Yeah.
Anyway, so grid yourself within that, and it will give you a very safe, isolated space for you,
Mm-hmm.
for what you need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, selenite, tourmaline. Um,
I'm
yeah,
going to
there
show
you go.
I'm going to show this a little bit closer for them. And tourmaline comes in many different sizes and shapes, and just
Yeah, you can.
when you get to the point of, okay, you decide, you feel like, okay, tourmaline is something that I'm drawn to. When you go to the store, as you're asking, where's the tourmaline, and you're looking at them, talk to the tourmaline.
Mm-hmm.
Say, who would like to come home with me to help me with? Right?
Yeah,
Or hold them and see, is this, are you the one that's supposed to come home with me? And they'll tell you, you'll feel it one way or another.
yep. Just be open to. Just be open.
Right.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
just be open.
So selenite and tourmaline.
Selenite and tourmaline. So there's a few others um, that can help in various other ways. Because if we're dealing with empathic emotions, you can bring into yourself unwanted emotions. Now, if the person that you're caring for has an issue with anxiety, use every possibility you can pick up that anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
or depression, or what else did I write down? Yeah, stress. That's an easy one.
Yeah.
In fact, we've got enough of our own stress. We don't need any more. So there's a number of different stones that, again, some of them, like the amethyst and the rose quartz, bring them in. They will assist you with a specific emotion if necessary. Then you've got labradorite. That's good for both. Lepidolite, aventurine, smoky quartz, lapis for depression.
I think that's the lapis.
That's sodalite.
That's the light. Sorry.
That's sodalite.
I thought
It's the oval one.
it's the oval one. Oh, yes. Yep. It's got to get there. There it is.
Yeah. That's good. It's lapis. It's normally very, very sparkly.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, it doesn't show up very well on the photo, but true lapis has got pyrite running through it as well. It's really, really nice, and very calming. Helps with all those. So another way to help you as the empath dealing with the emotions of the person you're caring for, if they have issues of anxiety, there's no reason why you can't help them with some stones of their own.
Oh, good point. Good point.
I do that with Mum all the time. Tracy, again, because she sent her some stones, and you'll be surprised how open the person you're caring for can often be with new ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Like working with stones, like oils, everything. Reiki, they will be open and you'll be surprised how open they are and how willing they are to accept alternatives to conventional therapies.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
so yeah, I mean, so anyway, so back to my brain.
Well, before you move on, let's. Judy is saying this in the chat room. She's saying perfect amethyst and rose quartz. I just got a beautiful earrings from Julie Hedges, and that's why I wear them. I auction as a shield. Okay, that's probably a misspelling there. As a shield to not pick up so many feelings from others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Good
absolutely.
one. Good one. And
Absolutely.
Elise is saying, whoops, wrong one. Elise is saying, where can one learn more about stones and crystals? Yes, I'm pretty much a newbie to all of this.
Listen to my show.
From Star to Stone.
From Star to Stone every second Tuesday at 9 a.m. GMT. No, it's BST now. So what's that? Excuse me.
It's 9 a.m. Eastern.
9 a.m. Eastern, 8 Central.
Right.
There you go. I remembered. So, or there's a series of books by the Crystal Bible series by Judy Hall. That's the most common book out there. Mm-hmm. I might write one myself. It might take me a few years, but give me time. That's the most common, easily obtained, and it's full of good information. However, the caveat to that is if you feel a stone is helpful in a different way to the book, then that's fine. Yeah. It really is. Mm-hmm. I mean, we talk to each other, the stones talk to each other as well, you know, they all communicate. So, yes, that's the other. Pardon?
Robin is asking, From Star to Stone is the name of the show. Yes. Start From Star to Stone. There's also a fan page for that on Facebook. So if you just, do the search for From Star to Stone, you'll find it.
So yeah, that's your easiest option. But as you read the book or books and look on the internet, and you'll find your way through. But always be open to what you feel. Always be open to that.
Yes.
Because you know what you need and you know what you feel. And if, like I say, you feel something different to what everything's saying, doesn't matter what they say. Doesn't matter what I say. If it works for you, then it's right. And that's the...
Yeah. And sometimes, wouldn't you say that you learn from the stones or the crystals themselves if you just hold them and sit with them and ask them, tell me your story.
Yeah.
Tell me your story.
Yeah.
And listen, feel them, because depends on how you bring in information. They might send you pictures, the symbols. You might actually be able to hear them if you're clairaudient. If you're clairsentient, you might just get this knowing, this feeling. It's a way to be able to trust your intuition. Spend some time with them. Yeah. Even just sit down and hold them for a little bit. And watch your feelings. What do you feel? What are you thinking? Because they're communicating with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, and I mean, that's it. You've said it all there. Just talk to them. Let them talk to you in whatever way it works.
Yeah.
And the more you explore, the more knowledge you'll gain. You know, it's a lifetime with them.
It's a relationship.
Yes.
You know,
Yes, it is.
look how, I mean, the closest people that you have to you, you know, chances are you've known them for a really long time. Same thing, you
Yep.
know, same thing.
Yep.
Or as my
So
friend Deb would say, same, same. Same, same. Okay, so you have a couple more pictures for us. Is there anything that you'd like to share?
Yes, there's a couple that I'd like to suggest, which are a little bit more unusual than the amethysts and so on and so forth. A little bit not so easily obtained. Not saying they're expensive or impossible to find, but they're just really, really good. And one of them is, which one did I do first? Healer's Gold.
Okay.
That's the black one with the gold bits.
All right. Is there two of them or three of them together?
3.
Okay. Because, you know, with the picture, sometimes it's hard to see.
That's the one.
Okay.
Healer's Gold. I found this one out and about somewhere or another, and sometimes it's called Apache Gold.
Oh, okay.
It's a combination of pyrite and magnetite. So
wow.
It's really cool. It's really cool. I use these when I'm doing Reiki for Mum.
Mm-hmm.
I gave her a piece of this for her, and every time before we start, it's I want my stone. I need my stone. And that's the one she knows, and she won't continue without that stone because she knows intuitively that it helps connect with the energy. You know, it really does. It's the next one when I come on to that, and again is a similar thing, but it has the effect of when you use it, it boosts. They have the boost in energy, but when you work with it, let me start that again. When you work with it in a healing situation, it boosts both the healer's energy and the recipient's energy.
Oh, okay. So it elevates the entire energy field.
Yeah, completely. Yeah.
So does that
really
magnify the healing then? I mean, if let's say let's say that you're dealing with arthritic pain,
mm-hmm.
and you use the this particular stone, and it's going to elevate the healing. Does that mean that the healing for the pain or the
It's more for the entire energy of the person receiving.
Okay.
Yeah, rather than a specific pain relief. It's more a case of an elevation of the entire energy field of the person.
All right. Very cool.
If you've got arthritic pain, malachite's really good.
I think I've got some of that.
Malachite's very good for arthritic pain. I made Mum a bracelet, a malachite bracelet, which really, and she does say that she knows the difference when she's wearing it and when she's not.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Wow. So this is Healer's Gold.
Healer's Gold, sometimes called Apache Gold, depending where you are. Yeah, I only knew it as healer's gold though. And then the other one, there's a picture with 2 pieces on it.
Yeah. Here we go.
That's the one. That's bornite.
Right.
Bornite. This is another very special one. It has, okay, you've got you haven't, again, I would normally use it in a healing situation, whether it be Reiki, whether it be anything, whatever you're doing. This is another good one, especially emotionally, for both the person you're working with and yourself, because it helps to protect against all that negative emotion.
Okay.
But beyond that, it will help transmute that negative emotion, negative thoughts, transmute it into something more positive. I'm not saying it's going to make you just start smiling immediately, because we don't work like that. It's just going to change the perspective, make you look at it in a different way. And especially for somebody who's doing the caring or the healing, it will, and especially for those, it will help you find the positive within what you're doing, within the caring of whomever it may be. It will help you see and understand the blessings and gifts that you are being given. No matter how hard it is getting, it will help you find those gifts and blessings that you've been given within that role.
Okay. So it's a gentle attitude adjuster.
Yes.
For the caregiver.
For the caregiver.
All right. And somebody's asking how to spell that, bornite.
Bornite.
Okay, that's what I thought. And just so that our audience knows, is that the pictures for these stones, you can see them on the fan page that we're live streaming from, and all of the pictures have their names tagged to them, so you'll be able to see that and get the information. If you want to go back and take a look at the pictures, you can do that. There we go. Bornite.
Okay.
Good one.
Yes, it is. It's a very good one. I like that one. And there is another one. Which one did I pick? That was the one. There's another oval one, a brownie colour.
Okay,
it's a quartz. That's the one. That's golden healer quartz.
Golden healer quartz.
Yes, it's a quartz. Quartz being the master healer. But this one, the iron within the quartz elevates its power. It's got oomph. Let's put it that way. It's got some oomph. It's how do I put it? Yeah, it's like a master healer plus. Let's put it that way. So everything that a quartz can do, it will do. But you've got, when you're working with the energy or energy in general, not necessarily Reiki or any particular form of energy healing, this will work with all of them.
Oh.
but you've just got that elevation of connectivity, and it reaches for the divine to help.
Okay. So let me see if I can get this maybe an image here. All right. So if you're the caregiver, and you know that, let's say you're feeling somewhat tired or fatigued, not to the point where you're flat on your face, because we've done that, but you're not really up to your usual, right? And you're going to be helping the person that you're giving care to, maybe doing the Reiki. You could use this stone to help boost the energy field up, that connection. Because if you're tired, physically tired, sometimes you're not in the best place to do that, right? But if you need a little help to be able to get it done, you could use this particular stone to magnify the energy field to get that connection.
Yeah.
A stronger connection. Is that correct?
Much stronger connection.
Okay.
Yeah, much stronger connection. Yeah, it's and it's really pretty as well.
Yeah, it is. At first, when I first saw the picture, I thought, is that what is that, carnelianite? Is that right? Is that how it's pronounced? Anyway, it's kind of a reddish stone.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes a reddish yellow, orange almost kind of stone. And when I looked at the name of it, I don't think I know that one.
Mm.
Healer's quartz.
Golden healer quartz.
Golden healer quartz.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
Mm-hmm. Just going on to the protection side of things again. There's a green one with a white background.
Yeah, I'm bringing it up. It's a pretty one.
Yeah, that's prehnite.
All right, spell that for me, please.
Prehnite. I know it's a strange way of spelling it, but it is right. Anyway, this one. Now, I wear this all the time. I always go, I can't find the one. It's here somewhere. This, as a protective stone, is amazing. Okay. What this can do, amongst its other attributes, but the main one that I work with it for, is it can shield and protect your aura with divine energy. It's a very unassuming stone, but it's got such a connection with the divine that it will, I can't really stress its effectiveness in protecting your aura. So when you're protecting your aura, you're in a much more sacred space within yourself, within your own energy field. It doesn't have to be in a room, in a sacred grove or anywhere. You're in your own sacred space within your own aura. You're carrying it around with you all the time. It's incredible. It really is. I wear it everywhere. I don't leave the house without it.
This particular stone, this prehnite, can help you establish your boundary.
Yes, it's a very close boundary, don't get me wrong, but it's a definite boundary. It's a definite boundary. Now, it's protective, but it won't stop you allowing your empathic abilities to to stop,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but you are giving that permission for yourself to feel what you need to be effective for the person you're caring for.
Okay. So you can actually be very open to the energies that are there without being attacked, without being
Without being overwhelmed by them. Yeah.
overwhelmed. Okay. Hi, Tina. Thanks for being with us. We're talking about stones and crystals for caregivers who are empathic. And yeah, and I like the color of this. That green is something else.
Yeah.
So
And again,
you have
not
this.
expensive.
Okay, so you say that you wear this. You have it with you all the time. Do you wear it? Is it in your pocket? It's
Yeah,
on your.
I made a necklace.
Oh, you did. So it can
Yeah.
come as beads.
Oh yeah, you can pick up beads, and they're quite reasonably priced as well.
Hey.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
chip beads and round beads, and you can get cabochons as well if you're that way inclined to make, you know, that kind of jewelry. But I just thread mine on and put them on and leave them there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a good one. I like that. So it protects your aura, helps you to establish those boundaries. So if you were making, let's say somebody wants to make a bracelet
hmm
from this, is there a companion stone or crystal that they could? Because I'm thinking of design. Somebody might want to put maybe two together or something like that. That
you
would
could put garnet with it.
okay.
That looks really nice.
And
Pretty.
garnet would hold what qualities? Because I'm thinking, if you're going to put two of them together, let's really help.
Well, again, they match very nicely with the protection. I mean, the prehnite for me is the key stone within that, because of its divine protection. But the garnet is for just protective. It just adds its own kind of protection. You're just working with it in that way.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I like this. Like it a lot. And you say that it's very reasonable.
Well, yes, it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very reasonable.
So
Very reasonable.
as an empath, to be able to really claim your gift and really use it, especially when you're caregiving for someone that you love, I think that this stone is really the one that could be helpful to, because you're still able to use your gift.
Mm-hmm. And it's one that you don't hear about a lot.
No, you can step 100% into your gift and still have your protection up, and to be able to have that your auric field protected. And see, I know for a fact that, and it's unintentional. It's not done with malice. Is the drawing of your energy for themselves, for that loved one, is doing. You can feel it,
Yeah.
And so you put your boundary up and say, that's enough. I love you, but no. And this would actually be quite helpful.
Very helpful. And fluorite is and fluorite and chlorite, again, as psychic protection. Also very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
I like it a lot. I like that color too. Helpful. Next.
I think I went through them all.
Sodalite.
Oh, the sodalite, yes. I've forgotten that one. The blue one. Again, very nice stone. Again, very easily obtained. These are why I picked the ones that I did. Rather than having to go very specialist, very rare, or very expensive, all of us that are in this position are generally not particularly have a lot of money sloshing around that we don't know what to do with.
Right.
We're just, yeah. So everything that I've put up here or suggested is easily obtained and not particularly expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So again, the Sodalite. You do know I've lost half my notes because I don't know what I've done with them. Oh, I remember now. Sodalite. It was part of a group of crystals for the anxiety.
Okay.
If you're feeling anxious, then the ones that I would go for, and again, if you wanted to be smart about it, you can buy 2 sets, one for you and one for the person you're caring for.
Perfect.
So you're doubling up. But all of them, if you're so inclined, you can make beads, bracelets and necklaces out of and wear them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not just working with a stone at a particular time. You're working, they're working with you all the time if you need that extra level to
Mm-hmm.
get you over a very difficult point. So anxiety. And anxiety can lead into panic attacks if you're not careful. So the ones that I would go for are, on the anxiety side, labradorite, lepidolite, which is very difficult to say, and I've been practicing that a lot,
You've done good.
and green aventurine.
Green adventuring.
Green aventurine. So anxiety, go for those. If you're making a bracelet or a necklace, to assist them, you can add in quartz.
Amplification.
Yeah. So if the anxiety levels are reaching such a point that you've got that danger of panic attacks, then the sodalite comes in with rhodonite and kunzite. Pronounce it how you like. It's Kunzite. Pink stone, very pretty. And turquoise. They help support you and bring that level of anxiety down to a more manageable level so the panic attack doesn't take hold, because nobody wants one of those.
No.
They're not fun.
No. It's not fun to watch the person that you're caregiving for. You can see it building.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely not fun if you're the caregiver and you're heading into, the anxiety for us, or for me, when it has happened, has to do with trying to get so many things done all at one time. And which is more important, and trying to piece all that all out. And you can feel it building, And for me, the breath work is huge for me. But why not turn to one of our relatives? Why not turn to the sodalite, and to be able to know that it's going to help you bring down the feeling of the anxiety before it turns into panic. Makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm. But then there's another danger zone with people are in pain. They're not feeling well. It brings you down. You can, easily drop into depression. Nobody wants that. That's not a fun place to be. It leads to bad things.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the ones that I have that is good is jet. Apart from the smoky quartz, which is very grounding and can assist with that, and apart from the lapis, again, which is good to work with that, jet. And jet is technically not a stone. It's not a stone or a crystal.
What is it then?
It's a tree. It's a fossilized tree.
Tree.
Yeah, it's actually wood.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh. Fossilized wood.
Yeah. It's not petrified wood. That's different. That is when the wood has been replaced by has been mineralized. Jet hasn't been mineralized. It's very light. When you get hold of a piece, you'll realize how light it is. Mm-hmm. It's black, but it used to be a tree.
Wow.
So that's when we're starting to connect into something else here, the trees.
Yeah.
So what if you don't have all these stones? And I know we're talking about stones and crystals, but I can't help myself. I'm going to bring in trees.
Well, you're a druid. Come on.
So, well, exactly. So I can't help myself. I think it's the law. Like all the other plants, like the jasmine, they're out there and they can help us. And trees know things.
Yes, they do.
Trees both reach to the sky and the sky energy, and they reach deep into the earth and the earth energy, and they're right in the middle. So again, if you've got a particular issue, if you're feeling a particular way and you need some assistance, and you're outside and perhaps you're walking through the forest, there's lots of trees in Minnesota, in Michigan and Wisconsin. I know this. So
yes.
There's plenty to choose from. So you're out, you're walking through the forest, and you go, find a tree. And again, like with the stones, ask the tree if it's okay to approach and to discuss this particular issue with it. And if you've been given the okay, then, go hug the trees. Because they are very amazing creatures that, just when it's all up here like this, and you ask them to help to clear that chaos, they're already connected into the ground. They can just pull that out of you and just give you a moment of peace. Even if it's 5 minutes, 5 minutes can be all you need for a day, a week, a month. So it's another thing. So jet's very, very good with that. What was the other one? And stress, because we all get stressed. Did I mention stress before?
Oh,
I think I did. Did I?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, amethyst, rose quartz, labradorite, and lepidolite. Again, so you see that all these, you see them making gestures with my hand like this. They, with all those emotions, all those different stuff, you find them just repeating through the list there. The list that I gave you, they repeat. So they know what they're doing.
Yes. Yes, they do.
They certainly do know what they're doing.
It's a part of their makeup. It's their gift that they bring in, that they were given by the Creator to help us, to help everybody. It's their service. So we are at the time when we should probably. It's been an hour and a half.
Sorry, I keep yabbering on when it comes to stones and crystals. I can't help myself.
Good. It's all good information. I just wanted to thank everybody that is with us in the live stream. Thank you so much for being here with us. And we're hoping that some of the information, discern it for yourself. Choose one that speaks to you, or that you feel good about, and try it out. If you haven't tried it, try it out, and it might give you some help. And if you have any questions, after the show, for those who will be watching the recorded show, just put your questions in the comment section, and either Merlin or myself will answer you the best we can. Merlin's next show is coming up on, should know this, June. Wait, let me get my calendar out. And so we're going to June 12th. Second Tuesday.
I would tell you what I'll be talking about, but I don't know myself yet.
That's all right. That's all right. It'll be a nice surprise. June 12th at 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central, and that is, 2 o'clock your time?
2 p.m. BST.
Okay. So, and tonight, for those of you who are looking for Paul Krause's show, Paul Krause is going to be on with the Paul Krause Show at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And his guest is Robin Francis. They've been on a show together a few times, and they're talking about loneliness and isolation. And so, and we have experienced that as caregivers, I would say. There's been times when we feel isolated. There's times when we feel lonely because our life has changed. And so I'm going to be listening to that show to see if there's any information that's for me in it. And then Julie Hedges has a replay. Her show is on at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, and that is the Tarot Journey. And Julie is convalescing, and so she asked if I could put together a replay for her from a interview that she did with a spiritual musician. Spiritual music with Donna De Lori. And so listen to that one. If you love music and spiritual music, it's a great interview. And we're going to be loading that up momentarily after we're done with this show. I'm going to post it on the Tarot Journey page. And tomorrow, guess what? Amantha Murphy on my show, Communications from Home. Tuesday, another special time. We're going to be on at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern, noon Central, 6 p.m. Ireland time, because she lives in Ireland. So we're going to be on a little bit earlier during the day here with Amantha Murphy. She is a good friend of mine. And so she's going to be sharing about female storytellers, and she is one of the best storytellers I know. So if you love stories and you love listening to Amantha's Irish accent as she tells us a story, you can join us tomorrow afternoon. So, Mervyn, thank you so much for taking the time to do this and bringing with us, to us, I should say, with you, all of that information about our relatives, the stone people, and sharing with us. So we appreciate it.
I enjoy it.
You're welcome, Elise. Elise is saying, great show. Robin, thank you. You're welcome. You're very welcome. And yeah, so we'll see. For those who will be joining Paul Krause's show, I'll see you in the live chat, because I'll be there. Mervyn's going to be sleeping.
Yes, I am.
All right.
Very soon.
All right. So have a good rest of the day, everybody, and we'll be seeing you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.